biases.
Well, this comes after a demonstration Sunday in Jackson Square led to a dozen arrests. The protesters tried to stay in the park after it closed at 7 and got into some scuffles with officers clearing the square. Lily Cummings was the only local news reporter inside Jackson Square that night, and she's joining us live now from the demonstration uptown. Lily, what's happening where you are?
Katie Charisse, the rally here on Perez Street between Tulane and Louisville universities is just now getting underway. You can hear their chants happening now. You can see dozens of students that are here, and we're told that some UNO students are also here as well. Earlier this afternoon, UNO students, alumni, and community members peacefully gathered in front of the library. One student called on police to drop charges against the demonstrators at Jackson Square. Organizers say they want universities to divest money given to Israel and to stand in solidarity with students across the state hosting larger rallies.
Doing our best what we can with the resources here in New Orleans. We are not a capability to put out an encampment, but we can show people across that New Orleans has a voice, New Orleans has a Palestinian community, and that we do everything we can to stand up for each other.
And while these rallies are largely organized by students, it's still unclear who organized last night's protest at Jackson Square. We now know that 12 demonstrators were arrested, 5 officers injured. We also heard from Mayor LaToya Cantrell just moments before this newscast began, saying that she wanted to thank NOPD for their professionalism as well as condemn attacks on police. Now, NOPD also noted in their information that they updated to us this afternoon that those that were arrested did not give their residential addresses. So again, it's unclear at this time if they were locals or who exactly organized the protest at Jackson Square. Reporting live from Uptown, Lily Cummings, WWL, Louisiana.
Lily, thank you so much. The U.S. is now stepping up pressure on Hamas to agree to a new ceasefire deal from Israel. President Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the weekend, and the Secretary of State is in the Middle East right now working with partners on a potential ceasefire and plans to visit Israel later this week. Hamas leaders flew to Egypt to discuss the latest proposal from Israel, which includes the group releasing as many as 33 hostages in exchange for a pause in hostilities in Gaza.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. Calling out around the world. Are you ready for a Thursday beat? It's springtime, but it feels like the summer, and the time is right for Gavin in the streets everywhere on Thursdays. On Twitter and X and Rumble too. All we need is newses, sweet newses. There are news reports everywhere. We are swinging, swaying, and the record is playing for Gavin in the streets. What's going on, everybody? I don't know, I just had that song popped in my head and tried to go with the beat. How we doing tonight? Looks like we have about several people that are in the business. Come on, X, come on, YouTube. Well, I know YouTube has us on a bit of a shadow ban, but we welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen, tonight for our Random Topic Thursdays. This is not going to be a long show. Unfortunately, Sean cannot join us due to illness, so we wish Sean a speedy recovery. But we thank you all for tuning in, especially if you're watching on Rumble. Shout out to you all, because we're moving away, of course, from YouTube. I know we still have subscribers that are on YouTube here, but of course, we tell everybody where they can go when we go to Rumble. And the stream is actually, I'm going to share it with everybody here. I've copied it and I'm putting it in the chat for the new Rumble account you can go to. I put it in the comments section so everybody can see. Just copy and paste. That way you can go ahead and join the Rumble channel. Now, what we're doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the main thing that has happened, you saw from the thumbnail, is what's going on with these protests all across the country. Everywhere is 24/7 on my platform is Gaza. Palestine, the Gaza Palestine, and protests that have erupted. And you saw some of that that video that we had, fair use, by the way. That actually happened even in my hometown of New Orleans at Tulane University. One of my former alumni. I'm a former alum there briefly, or you could just say I'm an Al because I only went there for like a year and a half. I'm a former Al, not alumni, a former Ala or Al or alley-oop. But I attended the Tulane briefly. So I'm seeing protests here, something I haven't seen in years, where people are condemning the actions of Israel, what they're doing with Palestinians. In particular, of course, with Israel, Tulane is known for having let's just say, a certain its donors and so forth are from a certain group who, let's just say, probably would be pro-Israel. But this is happening all across the country. Everybody is protesting. UCLA, there were protests that erupted there. And even spilling, I haven't heard it. Now, of course, it has not happened so much at some of the HBCUs, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. But they've had to arrest a lot of people because they've claimed students or protesters, I should say, have gone have set up encampments, not only on the premises of UCLA, but also gone inside the buildings, tore up property and so forth. And this is a video here we got courtesy of this Fox 11.
The encampment now becoming a cleanup out here at UCLA. You can see that number of workers down there starting to do that cleanup in that old encampment area. But you know what? You've got to really give these guys props. There's a lot of work to be done out here, but they're not just indiscriminately going and throwing everything in the trash. They're actually going through stuff, and anything that seems to be something that they may want to come back for, they're actually separating that. You can see that's what's going on right there. Now, a lot of the other stuff they are just taking and they're bringing out dumpsters and they're just moving this stuff out. It's going to be here for quite a while, but after everybody has left, you can see some of that devastation. This was one of the areas where there was just the in part because they were controlling who could come in and out of that encampment. That's portion of Royce Hall right there, and that's one of the spots that you can really see that devastation. And after the law enforcement came and cleared them out, some of the battles took place on the other side of the screen here, on the top part of the screen. Right now, that's where most of that media is. There still is a large law enforcement presence out here as well. Believe that this is mostly campus police, but they are still making themselves known. You can see them out here in force. And again, this cleanup, it's going to be a while because they literally are going through a lot of this stuff. They're separating what could be saved or might want it to be picked up later on from what they describe as just trash. But that's what several of those piles are. And these guys are doing an amazing job working as quickly as possible to get this area back to the campus. I'm Stuart Skybox. Back to you all in the studio.
So that's going on. And make matters worse also. So we have that encampment that you saw there that they've set up. So yeah, that was at UCLA. And tying that in, of course, that's what we're talking about. So everybody's protesting what's going on with Gaza, in the Gaza, and Palestine versus Israel. And that also ties into two topics, actually, because as a result of this, I don't know if any of you know, it's May, and talking about President Biden, how many of you know that he is set to be the Morehouse commencement speaker for the commencement speaker this year? That's right. As you know, with graduation around the corner, Morehouse has announced that Biden is going to speak. And of course, some alumni have concerns visibly that they voiced about President Biden being a speaker, in particular, especially his handling of what's going on in Israel. So I'm going to play this clip. This is from Reuters speaking, and I'm just going to play this so you all can hear.
President genocide, who's funding anti-resistance efforts in Yemen and all those places. We're going to allow him to come here and basically desecrate our Morehouse name and tradition because we want the money, because we want our loans paid off. That's very sellout, and I don't like that.
I feel like a lot of people are taking this and blowing it out of proportion. I hear a lot of complaining, a lot of lamenting that he's coming to the school. People say he's just doing this to garner votes. My response to that is yes, obviously. He's not purely coming here for altruistic reasons, spread some love and support for his black brothers and sisters. I mean, he's the United States president, the current incumbent, and, it's an election season. Obviously, he's going to garner support and votes.
Originally, I was totally against it. Still am totally against it. I don't know. I feel like there were so many prominent black figures that were passed up that could have really reflected the Black Student Caucus and really have something to say. I feel like this is a political move.
And I feel
course
like if
it is.
Biden was smart, he'd stay away from politics because people feel very strongly about what's going on with Palestine, Gaza, Congo, especially here on campus. So if he starts to talk about anything like that or address those kind of issues, he's going to open himself up to.
Now that's part of it. Of course, you saw that dude the second. Of course, he's here. I have no big issue why the president's speaking. Yeah, food. You know, guy ain't doing shit for you. Of course, Morehound is interested in getting their silver coins from the president. That's why they spoke. Remember back in 2000, I want to say it was 2014, but I think it was a little 2012 when Biden gave that, not Biden, Obama spoke at Morehouse College. Or was it Clark? It was Clark Atlanta University. And he wagged his finger. He wagged his finger at those young men. No, it was Morehouse. I apologize. It was Morehouse. That was back in 2013. He talked about how they needed to pull up by their bootstraps. But the thing is, you know, he does that. You know, the funny thing about that is when Bill Cosby talked about black families taking accountability, everyone was mad. But when Barack Obama does it, a man who never lived around black people, grew up with white grandparents, everybody praised it, except a few. Because he was the first black president. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me. I had to take this text message. So, yeah, it's all politics. Of course, it's about votes. And especially what's going on in Israel and Palestine, there were some Morehouse alums who were complaining. Now, the Morehouse College, of course, they released a statement stating how excited, I want y'all to look at this, they were that a president was coming to speak, although it's not the first time. So we have here first, this is from Morehouse. This is a letter that was written by Morehouse College. They don't say who. But I want you to pay close attention to this. So they say here, President Biden's speech will culminate a week of undergraduate and alumni reunion events celebrating the class of 2024, as well as the milestone alumni anniversaries, including Spike Lee, Martin Luther King III, Vernon Perry, Paul Q. Judge, and Brian Tyree Henry. Additional honorary doctors will be presented to President Biden and Dr. Michael Lucius Lomax, 68, President and CEO of the United Negro College Fund, who is also celebrating 20 years of service with the UNCF. Now, y'all know that the UNCF, and you can look this up, I didn't even know this until I did my research, but I did a video about 2 years ago where I've discovered that the UNCF was not even the board members were predominantly white. It was not blacks on there. What's up, Lamiko? So, of course, they would have him come and give a speech. Now, yes, are there black alumni that could have done a speech that they didn't have to get this man? They didn't have to get President Biden? Of course there were. But they chose not to. And they chose it because they know Election season's coming up, so they want to stick with the president, a Democratic president who could give them votes, who could get him votes, and also they could get money. But if you look at this on ABC News, many alumni were complaining about it. So they have concerns. His president's speech should be about our students, a college official said. Now, Morehouse announced they weren't rescinding the commencement invitation. I wouldn't expect they would. But according to Kendrick Brown, who's the vice president of academic affairs, he says, quote, there are of course opinions saying that we should rescind the invitation. But there are a number of individuals who recognize this opportunity in the prominence of the speaker and an opportunity for Morehouse to highlight its mission and to be able to use this venue to ask important questions. While Biden will be making his speech in an election year in a key swing state in front of a key voting bloc, Morehouse is one of the country's most famous historically Black colleges. Brown maintained that the commencement invitation first extended last year isn't about politics. The reason that we invited President Biden here, the reason we invite any speaker to come to commencement is that we believe they have something to say to encourage our graduates as they go out into the world. I hope this speech would not be about making a case or making a campaign. It should be about our students. While Biden has sought to balance sympathy for Palestinian civilians in Gaza with support for Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas, he has faced continuing criticism from younger and more progressive voters, particularly for America's backing of Israel operations, even as the White House denounced some of the Israelis' actions. More than 34,000 people have been killed in Gaza since the war began, according to the Hamas-run health ministry there. International observers have also been warning for months of unfolding humanitarian disaster in the territory. Hamas' October terror attack killed 1,200 people in Israel, Israeli officials have said. Morehouse faculty members convened with the college presidents, David Thomas, last week to express concerns over Biden being the commencement speaker at May's graduation in 2024. A source who was in the meeting with ABC News told ABC News. Morehouse did not immediately respond to the request or comment about the meeting. Even before Biden was officially announced to be the upcoming speaker last week, concerned faculty have been reaching out to Morehouse leaders, according to a letter Brown sent on April 19th to the school community in response to their issues. The faculty source that out of the 160 people subsequently invited to the hour-long virtual meeting with Thomas, the school president on Thursday, about 75 attended, and 5 people spoke with concerns. One faculty member asked whether there would be a penalty for silently protesting, and Thomas jokingly replied, only if it were during commencement, according to the faculty source. So you have a young man by the name of Bradley Morrison, who's a sophomore at Morehouse, who spoke when Thomas held a heated town hall meeting with some of the students. And he stated that he felt that Thomas was dismissive of the students' concerns. Morrison, the Morehouse sophomore, said he feels the graduating seniors deserve an impactful speaker that captures an impactful class. It should have been an impactful Black man speaker coming to speak, he said. I just don't believe that Biden's the best fit. So, rightfully so, understandably, a lot of people are concerned about what happens. Beverly, what's going on? Beverly was one who cares that they have President Biden speaking, especially with the controversy going on all across the United States. Let me ask you something. I got my fan blowing. You all can hear me. Is it not? Is there an issue with the mic? I can't hear it if there was, but if you can hear me loud and clear, there's no issues. I just need you to give me a thumbs up. You can give a thumbs up in the chat. Yeah, you said Morehouse presidents sold out. A lot of these HBCUs, their presidents and stuff sell out for money. And when you have these protests going across the country, I think that there is obviously some disdain with the Biden administration. After all, we know Trump is facing his arrest, his trial for not only in Georgia but also in New York for fraud that's underway. So that's going on. They're trying to do everything they can to get Joe Biden elected as president once more. But what you all have to be mindful of is Joe Biden does get reelected, that leads the way for one Kamala Harris to become president, because if something were to happen to Joe Biden, then obviously Kamala Harris would step in. And I don't think anybody, any American would want a Kamala Harris presidency. Now, they want to basically try and get votes. This is my opinion for Joe Biden in the 2020 election by having him speak and state, because remember, there was an article that came out, I think by the Grio, where they talked about how there's disinformation being spread to black men about Joe Biden. And when they see that and what they're talking about, when you hear things about that, they're talking about us. They're talking about the new black media. They're talking about the African Diaspora Channel, the Tariq Nasheeds, the Tory and Rain Reloaded, the Nicole's View, the Sean James, because they know we, and G-Boot, because they know that we are the ones that are spearheading truthfulness for our people. And if people are not rocking with bringing tangibles to the black community, to black men, black women, and so forth, there's nothing to discuss then. There's nothing to move forward. Of course, they sold out. Of course, it's about money. Everything is about money. Why else do it if it wasn't? But what say you all, ladies and gentlemen, about what's going on in Palestine? And look, and here in the United States with these protests, what's your thoughts? So I'm going to move on. Y'all drop something in the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. So we're going to move into the world of entertainment. Now, last week, when I had the brothers come on, make sure y'all hitting that like, share, and subscribe button. Please hit that like, share, hit the notification bell. When we go live, you know we're going in. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. So what we're also going to talk about, you can drop something in the Cash App if you would like as well. We're going to be talking about this thing with Harvey Weinstein. Like I said last week, so what's up, DeAndre? Harvey Weinstein's trial is set to start back up on Labor Day. It was announced earlier this past week that from the Manhattan District Attorney that they will attempt to retry Harvey Weinstein in a New York court in regards to his sexual assault charges. Of course, last week, the Court of Appeals of New York, in a 4-3 decision, announced they were overturning the verdict because they did not believe that Harvey Weinstein got a fair trial at his proceedings when they allowed prior bad act witnesses who did not have criminal charges against Weinstein and their charges were not substantiated, that they didn't believe he got a fair trial and that the scales of justice were tipped. Now, of course, many people, famous actresses from Ashley Judd, Rose McGowan, I believe the chick from Law and Order, Mariska, what's her name? Mariska, y'all know her name, from Law and Order, SVU. Mariska Hargitay, that's her name. Yeah, she spoke even out about Harvey Weinstein. So these again are women who have, and I'm not trying to knock them per se, any woman that's been assaulted, but of course, when you read these stories, Allison Mack, yeah, and Allison Mack, I think, wasn't she accused of something? Asia Argento, who was a Me Too leader, yeah, she was accused of assaulting a young actor, Jimmy Bennett. Yeah, I remember that. But they, of course, responded. They were upset with the decision to overturn Weinstein's conviction. And again, here's the thing. These are not lawyers. They have no legalese. They don't understand law. The fact of the matter is you can't tip the scales of justice to get the outcome that you want. And here in this article by the New York Times, I hate these ads, they plan to retry Harvey Weinstein this fall, which is around the Labor Day weekend. So that's Weinstein. He was in court on Wednesday. According to the New York Times, one of the assistant district attorneys, Nicole Blumberg, told the court it was a strong case. It remains a strong case in 2024. Weinstein, who's a disgraced former Hollywood producer, appeared in Manhattan Supreme Court before Justice Curtis Farber on Wednesday, the first time he had been in court since his 2020 conviction was overturned last week. His lawyer in New York, Arthur Adila, sat beside him at the defense table, while his lawyer in California, Jennifer Bogine, sat in the rows behind him. In court, Mr. Adila stated that his client wasn't healthy, but was sharp as a tack mentally. Judge Farber ordered that Mr. Weinstein be remanded and set the next hearing date for May 29th. So on Wednesday, Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA, sat in the rows behind the prosecutor. In his row was Jessica Mann, one of the accusers in the case, who was an aspiring actress when she said Mr. Weinstein raped her in a hotel room. In a decision to overturn the conviction, the court sided with Mr. Weinstein's defense team, ruling that the trial judge who presided over the case had erred in allowing the prosecutors to call as witnesses women who said they were sexually assaulted by Mr. Weinstein, but whose accusations were not tied to the charges he faced. Right. They couldn't be used against him. You can use what they call prior back act witnesses, but very in a discriminate way, meaning it has to be, does the probative value outweigh the prejudicial effect that may arise from it? I can't just put that up there because of my feelings. And so this new trial is set to begin. Now, he is serving a 23-year sentence. He had been serving a 23-year sentence, but that's been overturned. But now the court has remanded him to jail. So in other words, he's going to remain in custody. Obviously, plus he has that trial that's going on, that case in New York. in California, that he's supposed to serve 16 years on. And now he's set to be retried in the fall. So I got to say this. Alvin Bragg is the Manhattan DA. We know that Manhattan DA, he's tied in with the Me Too crowd. So this does not surprise me that he would announce that they would retry this again. Now, the only problem is now with monies that has been spent, exasperated, for instance, in trying Mr. Harvey Weinstein, and you're going to try him again, spending more money, they obviously cannot call the same witnesses that they had, at least not to the ones he got acquitted on, and to the ones that had nothing to do with the case. How then will it work from there? And will his defense team also, and I believe they can, bring up any other allegations of partiality that can be against him? Can he get a fair trial out of this? Well, we've been bombarded with documentaries, with testimonies from people going on NBC, CBS, and ABC, Fox, CNN about Weinstein. There have been documentaries made, cans filmed, all types of stuff. His name and reputation have been ruined. Now, I'm not saying that Harvey Weinstein is a great guy. I don't know the man personally. Seems like a jerk. But the fact, and we talked about this last week, that most of what I've heard, especially now, rape is one thing, but when they allowed, like Ashley Judd, I think Ashley did testify, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think it was not Ashley Judd, but the actress who appeared in Jungle Fever. Her case led to an acquittal. Her testimony was just garbage. Annabella Sciorra, that's her. Yeah, Annabella Sciorra. Yeah, her case had to get over. Her stuff. She didn't even have an acquittal. And yes, the media has been silent. That is the comparison when it's come to this. They have not been as vocal as with Cosby. And I think that the reason that's happened, thank you, honey. The missus is giving me a compliment on that I look good on live. So that's always a great thing. So so what I was saying is, so the main difference, DeAndre, the main difference with Cosby, that threw me off. Cosby and Weinstein is that, well, Cosby, obviously, with Weinstein, they have been very quiet with this. So Cosby, they were very vocal, and people were upset at his conviction being overturned. But Cosby's case is the one that really led to, you're seeing this reversal, I think, in America, where these judges and justices are not being swayed by emotions, not swayed by lynch mobs, but on rules of law, which is what dictates our courts, not public opinion. Of course, with Bill Cosby, they still try to say he's guilty. And I actually saw someone in a Facebook group, I think there's a nice photo painting I saw of all the black TV dads you can think of we've had over the years, where they've helped raising a black kid in the picture. And someone said Cosby shouldn't belong, but Bill Cosby absolutely belongs as one of the pioneers and one of the greatest black fathers on television. Still is to this day. I don't care what anybody says about him and these accusations with these women who go back 40, 50, 60 years with no evidence, no police reports, no proof whatsoever. Everything is hearsay. Everything is speculative. But because of emotions, most people don't read Most people don't even know that Dr. Cosby didn't go to jail for rape. They call him a rapist. He didn't go to jail for rape. He went to jail on a molestation charge that, by all accounts, had to be overturned because there's an agreement with a prosecutor. You should not have brought this. And a majority ruled that. I spoke to Andrew about, I've texted him 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to see if he'll come on the show again. Shout out to Andrew. Also, I have a surprise guest I'm trying to get in the future. You guys will like that. It's about the O.J. Simpson and the O.J. Simpson case. Someone I spoke with who knew him personally is coming on this channel in the future, so I'm going to keep you posted. But that's the only hint you're getting today. And no, it's not Marcus Allen. If you're disappointed, it's not Marcus. But what say you about Harvey Weinstein, ladies and gentlemen? And this case, make sure you smash up the likes. Hit that notification bell. Speaking of Cosby, please purchase the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby on Amazon Kindle. Before we begin, we're going to go back and our last topic, the slaughter of One Drake by Kendrick Lamar. Now, I listened to this track for the first time on today, and I said, damn. Now, those that don't know, this past week, Kendrick Lamar released his latest track, a diss track against Drake. And the lyrics, I can't play the song, but it's got everybody talking about hip hop, talking about color, what they call colorism, talking about the use of the word nigger and other things, because in the lyrics, Kendrick and he also criticizing the music industry. That's stuff that everybody has been talking about, because Kendrick made remarks about Drake being biracial, or what people say being light-skinned. And although I gotta have to listen to it again, I didn't hear that part, but how he's saying the N-word in his lyrics and so forth. And so far, man, everybody has just been blowing stuff up. Everything has been going everybody's been going cuckoo over this thing. Everybody's been talking about it. Everybody's been saying stuff, mainly, his remarks about, Kendrick's remarks. In fact, I'm just pulling up X now, and I'm seeing this for the first time. Mentions a Chinatown restaurant that Drake mentions, that Kendrick mentioned in his song. I want y'all to look at this story. So y'all listen to this. Hold on. This is my first time even saying it. They're saying this is the Kendrick Lamar effect. Look at this. Hold on.
Now, a new Kendrick Lamar diss record targeting Toronto's own Drake has one local Chinese restaurant caught in the middle, but in a good way. New Ho King on Spadina was mentioned in the song Euphoria, and now the owner says they have since been showered with 5-star reviews.
Talk about me and my family, Crody. Someone go bleed in your family, Crody. I'll be at New Ho King.
New Ho King.
There you go.
That's right. I'm trying to learn how to sing the song now.
Johnny Liu is the owner of New Ho King in Chinatown. He says since last night, his phone has been blowing up with messages.
This morning, a lot of people text me. He said, "Oh, look at that. That's your restaurant?" I said, "Yes." And they said, "Oh, look at that. Look at the song."
Don't speak on the family, Crody. You can get deep in the family, Crody.
In the song, Kendrick Lamar jokingly pokes fun at the Toronto accent and slang. He He then specifically mentioned the restaurant and their fried rice.
I be a New York King eating fried rice with a dip sauce and a flammy, Cody.
He said, good food and might be the fried rice get more right. The chef gonna be busy.
Since the song was released Tuesday, Google reviews for the establishment have been soaring with positive feedback, with most mentioning the song and their now famous dish.
Whoa, 7 minutes ago.
So people
Okay.
are mentioning the song that Kendrick.
Yep, I see that Kendrick's a good guy. Oh my God.
Lou says he expects more customers.
Kendrick is giving
since receiving this international attention.
Chinatown
Even
business.
Today, customers we spoke to said they made their way to Chinatown to try the fried rice, thanks to the American rapper.
I came all the way from Markham just to see this fried rice, man. Kendrick Lamar, you got to pay respect to K-Dot, man. Ever since he dropped the diss track, I was like, I got to visit this place.
That's my first time seeing that. So yeah, damn. So everybody, wow, it's just been, yeah, that took a lot of people, caught a lot of people off guard. Well, not off guard, but people were just blown up by it. Drake has not yet responded. Now, with regards to this issue of colorism and so forth, people have also who are pro Drake have hit back because they're saying Kendrick Lamar is married to in a relationship with a racially ambiguous woman who I believe is biracial, and some people are going back and forth over it. I have not seen. This is I'm 30 in my 30s, and when I go back and look at hip hop rivalries, rap rivalries, and so forth, I've seen people take personal shots. I've seen people call. I remember Jay-Z going in at Nas, talking about his kid. I remember even, of course, Biggie and Tupac was the big one. Hit him up. Biggie did, I know you, who shot you? And it got personal. Those brothers are not here anymore. Now, some people are saying, I see Nicole, and some people have been commenting. So this is just the stuff people have been, I don't even know what the young lady is.
For being talk about it. He said this dude who's married to a racially ambiguous woman that produced 2 mixed kids got on a record and proceeded to diss Drake for being mixed. You cannot make this up. So on today's episode of I Can't Make This Up, let's go ahead and take a little dive into this. So as a Black woman, okay, this is something that not only have I noticed, but it is noted. So I just want to, I'm not trying to sound nothing. First and foremost, my name is Jazz. I have a blog called Why Hip Hop. What that means to me is not only am I a hip hop enthusiast, it has affected me growing up. I have lived, loved, breathed hip hop since I could remember, y'all. And for what it's worth, y'all, I love this new diss track. He definitely won. He ate it up. We don't want to hear you say nigga no more. But the thing that I've always looked at, and I ain't know, I was like, I was just like thinking about it. Because, poor Drake with his little mix. So, don't Kendrick got a light-skinned baby mama? Like, when it come down to it, y'all, I wouldn't care. Y'all seen that little video where the little boy talk about something, why they don't choose D1 athletes don't choose Black girls because we won't do their homework and pay for everything for them. Y'all, this is not missed nowhere. Kendrick.
It's fun seeing this.
Kendrick is one of those too. So I love Kendrick to death, y'all. I fuck with him. We all fuck with him. But I learned a long time ago as a Black woman, these are not our martyrs. I wouldn't give a damn. I love the song.
Well, okay, let me stop right there. All right. I can't say that I followed the career of Drake. I have followed Kendrick. I've listened to his album. I've had King Kunta. I love the Black Panther album he did for the soundtrack. It was amazing. I followed Kendrick. Drake, not so much. I've listened to some of his stuff. I thought Drake basically, to me, is not a rapper. He's a guy that knows how to rhyme lyrics over good beats for pop culture. That's who Drake is to me. But Drake has had and said stuff that has been suspect about Black people. When he talked about America, I can't think of the name of the song, but I saw the lyrics about how you didn't want to be like those American slaves. Who knows the song to that? Anyway, at any rate, Kendrick doesn't pretend to be somebody who's not, and I don't think this woman, Kendrick's spouse, his fiance is. Now, Drake's uncle is Larry Graham. Larry Graham, y'all know, is the great guitar bassist. He had that song "One in a Million." Drake, of course, you know, growing up in Toronto, he actually had, Larry Graham is his uncle. Yeah, Larry Graham is a great bassist. So yeah, but Drake grew up, especially in Toronto. He had been in television before. He was an actor before he blew up with Young Money, because that's really that's what brought Drake into the mainstream. When Drake's hung out with Lil Wayne and Lil Wayne took him under his wing. So I'm not gonna say I've never been into Drake, but I've listened to some of his stuff, his beats. But the most important thing about Drake, I'm gonna finish the video, but let me finish the video.
Song, and he's straight and he cool, but he wasn't ever fighting for nobody that looked like me. And again, I love Kendrick, y'all. So I'm not even saying this from a malicious point. I'm saying this from a point of awareness, like opening my eyes. Like, you know, now, if I must say, Drake ain't never been no better. So I really would take a family man over a culture vulture any day. But I do just want to point out, y'all, that this man, and again, there's actually nothing wrong with him having a racially ambiguous wife.
How you know, well, first of all, do you even know his wife? How the fuck you gonna say that? They're light-skinned black people come in all shades and all colors. You don't know what she is. She's not Vin Diesel. I don't know who she is. I don't think anybody's even talked to this woman. She keeps a low profile because she's backing up her man. Her place is not to be in front of the cameras. Her place is to support him and take care of the children. So she's not making it about her. But how you know that? I mean, I don't look to celebrities to save me or anything like that. I agree with her on that point. But dude, I mean, a lot of people have been going in. The main purpose of this,
nothing wrong with you having a racially ambiguous wife and being so for the people. It's giving like that, doctor. The thing
is, this video, I'm gonna stop there, is that most people are responding. It sounds like they're sour grapes. They're upset over Kendrick getting the better of Drake. Some people have talked about how it's colorism. And let's be real, there is colorism in the black community. People who think because you're light skinned, you're less black or don't go through the same things as a dark skinned person. I've experienced that myself personally because I come from both of my parents are black. Of course, my father is fair skinned, as what they would say back in the day. He was a fair skinned Negro. So they accused him of he's been accused by people in the past. They say pass a blanc, like he's passing for white. My father's never passed for anything. My father can't even pass. Only thing he can't pass is the food on the table. My father is a black man. Make no mistake about it. I think a lot of people, it has to do with how Drake identifies. That's what a lot of people feel that Drake does. And remember, Drake, like I said, the lyrics that he made. Now, of course, there's a video. I gotta go both sides too. There's a video of Kendrick Lamar, somebody showing me where Kendrick brought a white girl on the stage and let her say nigga. American slaves on Slime You Out. That was the line. Yeah. And he received backlash for it. That's right. Slime You Out. So my man Dwan B addressed Isaac Hayes III. Isaac Hayes III is indeed the son of Black Moses himself. So he addressed Cameron and Mace. And Isaac Hayes III, I could just tell you this much from the post I've seen, very Democrat. He's Democrat. Put it that way. So hold on.
And you can send this to Isaac Hayes Jr. When I said it, Mr. Hayes, when Drake does this.
Yeah, I remember this.
When Drake, before he becomes Mr. Popular Rapper, when he was trying to fit in with his other half, this is how Drake chose to fit in with his other half. That's why Kendrick said what he had to say about you can't say nigga no more. And about all of the quote-unquote colorism, Mr. Hayes, with respect. This kind of black person is not the same as J. Cole. J. Cole never dissed black society with blackface. Huey P. Newton stood up for black society. Lenny Kravitz never did nothing to us. Now, you could probably team him with Barack Obama because Barack did a whole lot of shady shit to us while wearing blackface.
That's true.
See, Black America has had to deal with a lot of black people that look like us who, the minute they get a little bit of power, a little bit of fame, a little bit of notoriety off their blackness,
that's so
they don't come back and do any benefit.
That's so true. They don't come back and do any benefits for us. That's right. That is 1,000% correct. We see it today in politics. We see it. I mean, look, 2024 is here. They're gearing up. They're trying to get votes. We see the people come into church. You've never seen them before. Never seen them come into church, before then, during it. Only when it's around election season. They want something. That's 1,000% true. They get a little power. They get in. We support them, and you never see them again.
To us, Mr. Hayes.
Right.
So, yeah, we're not going to have that goofy talk. Black people are not that simple. We're not that simple-minded. We know when we're dealing with somebody who's black when it's convenient, and we don't appreciate it. Because black Americans like me and those who follow, and we have cultural pride, and we don't have the option of jumping into another culture's shoes when it's convenient, like Drake. We don't have the option to, when we're around our white friends, do this. And then when we're around our black friends trying to fit in, do this. We don't have that option. So when Kendrick talks color, when Kendrick is talking about that, this is what we're talking about, Mr. Hayes, and people who think like that. When you're talking about Kendrick and colorism and it's not about race, old buddy made it about race. And this happens far too much in black society.
Mm-hmm.
We get people who come over here, they mine our culture for the music,
Iggy Azalea,
for the entertainment, for the genius, the inventions. They Black History Month. Oh yeah, we invented this, we invented that.
Justin Bieber, all of them. Yeah.
But then when y'all go around your other half, you do this.
I know Iggy Azalea and Justin Bieber are not black. They're white. But what he's talking about is cultural appropriation and how people. What he's basically trying to say is Drake comes over from black, is a biracial man. Not saying that he's not wanted in the community or anything, but only when he wants something. You come over and you do this. You put on blackface. When you identify with others, and then you want to come and get a pass over here where you need something to advance your careers.
You do this.
Because it is black people that support
that. Ain't cool.
Guys. Yeah.
And
pop.
If you're the kind of mixed person who thinks this is cool when you're around your white friends, and who thinks this is cool when you're around your black friends, then no, yeah, we're different. The rest of us black Americans don't have different shoes we can jump in when it's convenient for us. We got to be this 24/7. We got to be this. We can't be something else in the meeting with the head of Universal Music Group and then black with the people. We're going to be black in both situations. And we're going to be treated as such, and we're going to be paid as such. So since that is the reality of the United States, not what I want. I'd much rather have it to where everybody be cool. And we just, won't be good. That's what I'd rather have. But it's not the reality of what we're living.
Right.
So since that's not the reality of what we're living, we have to adjust and live based on the reality that we have, not the reality we want. So to people like you, Mr. Hayes, that think this way, no disrespect to you, but yeah, no.
Something else you got to point out too. Yeah, that's my man Dwan B. Yeah, that's essentially what Dwan is saying. Yeah, we can't. Don't be fake. Don't be fake with it. And that's what we get from Drake. That's what Kendrick Lamar was saying. And hip hop, especially when they do battles, they expose people like this. They expose you. But somebody important, we got to all remember too about Drake. If you're talking about him, and y'all can Google this person by the name of Lucian Grange. Lucian Grange, excuse me. Lucian Grange is the most powerful man in music, according to numerous reports I've read. The Sun, even the U.S. Sun, said he's connected to Drake. He is the head of Universal Music. His son is also a music producer who is married to Sophia Richie, daughter of Lionel Richie. And this is Lucian Grange here. This is big money. This is big people. He's the most powerful man in music. He was named Executive of the Decade by Billboard in 2022. And Billboard is so corrupt. I mean, everything, if you look at the top 10, I'll show y'all something too. Every top 10 song on Billboard, it has Taylor Swift, practically, at least 8 of the songs. And this man, who's from Britain, Sir Lucian Charles Grange, is the CEO and record executive and current CEO of Universal Music Group. That is the biggest label in the business. That's the largest record label in the world. Having been in the music industry for more than 45 years, Billboard magazine named him the most powerful person in the music business. His net worth is $250 million. He has worked with some of the biggest names in music, including Jay-Z, Elton John, Queen, Rihanna, and Amy Winehouse. He shared, now look, an unprecedented $400 million multifaceted deal with Drake. So in his recordings, his publishing, merchandise, and visual media products, he's getting a percentage of that. They described the deal, according to Variety, as LeBron-sized. Kanye West said that Lucian is Drake's rich baby daddy. One of Drake's singles from his album For All the Dogs is Rich Baby Daddy. Right. And what's going on with TikTok, I saw that, so Drake and Taylor Swift, they actually are returning to TikTok. Y'all know a lot of the Universal Music artists were off social media, were off TikTok, in part because of a deal that Universal Music had to make with TikTok. Lucian Grange obviously was a big part of that. So Universal, I believe, also owns Motown. Sony ATV, Sony, I think, Sony ATV has the largest music publishing, but Universal is the largest group because their work just doesn't include music publishing. They include records, artists. So all of that is included. You saw that, the label, the publishing, the merchandise, all of that's included. But that's what pushes Drake and Taylor Swift. You want to see this? I want to show you something here. This is courtesy of X. Shout out to Nicole. Nicole had this posted, and I was going to share it with you all. Here. Hold on. So this was I want to show y'all a compare and contrast. This is from 1993. This is the Billboard Hot 100 singles that they had. Now you look here. Silk, Snow, Informer. He was number 2. Nothing But a G Thing. I Have Nothing from The Bodyguard. Love Is by Vanessa Williams and Brian McKnight. Jade, Don't Walk Away. SWV, I'm So Into You. Two Princes by the Spin Doctors. Looking Through Patient Eyes. PM Dawn. Diddy, Paperboy. And at number 14, That's the Way Love Goes by Janet Jackson. Now, that was in 1993. So I'm going to show you all, hold on, what we have today, because courtesy of our friend Nicole, she actually had this, and I can't say I couldn't believe it, because I knew just from looking at it that was probably the most accurate you saw, as a testimony to how far Billboard has dropped, especially in credibility. But I'm trying to find where the hell did it go? All right, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to find. I had this thing ready. All right. If you go to the Billboard charts now, you're going to see Taylor Swift dominates everything. So the music industry has changed. So look. All right, so this is it here. This is actually on Billboard's website. I had to pull it up. There you go. I hate these ads that pop up. This is the Billboard 100. So you got everything right now. So number 1, Fortnite. Number 2, by Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone. Number 2, Down Bad, Taylor Swift. Number 3, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, Taylor Swift. Number 4, The Tortured Poets Department, Taylor Swift. Number 5, So Long London, Taylor Swift. Number 6, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Number 7, But Daddy, I Love It. Everything on the Hot 100 is Taylor Swift. Now, this is a world of streaming. You can download and just listen to a song. You can click on a link and listen to a song. Versus what you saw in 1993, the compare and contrast that I showed you, you had to go into Sam Goody's or Musicland or Tower Records to go get your albums. That was hard to do. To be a Michael Jackson or Janet Jackson in that era, a Prince, it was hard. It's hard to get people to come out. And that's the goal of an artist, is to get people to come out and enjoy themselves. The fact that she has 10 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. How many black? Did y'all know in 2013, it was the first time in almost 50 years that a black artist, I talked about this before, remember, had not made number 1 on the Hot 100. That was that year when they had Macklemore and Robin Thicke, where they did Blurred Lines. Blurred Lines was the biggest hit of 2013. And then subsequently, you remember Robin Thicke and those guys got sued by Marvin Gaye's family for stealing Blurred Lines, infringing on Got to Give It Up. So it's all about design, man. It's all about design. It's about money. Yeah, Taylor Swift is not. I'm not gonna say Taylor Swift is not talented. She very certainly is. I think she certainly is a great artist, outstanding. But if you call her performance or anything like that greater than Michael Jackson, or when we start putting her on those lines, or Prince, I have to halt the brakes. We got to hit the pause button on that. Hell no. I can't stand that, Skip. Right, adolescent cry. You're right. Right, she writes for adolescent cry babies. She writes for kids. You know, she started out doing country music, and she just bloomed up. But is it her that does it, or is it the industry? Is it the people like the Lucian Grange who blow up Drake? Are we seeing music industry is hella corrupt? Even the artists, the songwriters who have some of the top 10 songs are still, there was an article from the BBC that are driving Uber. They're not getting paid their money. The record companies are collecting royalties and not giving it to them. And that's a shame. It was reported by the BBC, yeah. That's because of the impact on streaming. They said right now, hit songwriters are driving Ubers. So you write a song that sells 1 million records or have 1 million streams, and just imagine your paycheck for a year for all the millions you sold is $50.43. I'm just giving a number. Yes, it's all corruption. She's the white savior. She's the Caitlin. Yes, she was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark. Of course they will. Yeah, people will always come back. She's always going to sell. Yeah, right now, she'll sell. But that's just the way the industry is just so corrupt. But you're telling me there's nobody that can challenge, get on that Billboard Top 100? Remember, they even had the bubbling under 100 where artists couldn't sell, weren't in the top 100, but were close. Wow. Make sure you all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We're about to bounce out of here. Before I leave, I got to go back to X. Anyway, y'all, this came to my attention. Can we find out what's going on? They say this is in Africa. I don't know the entire details of it, but this blew my mind when I saw it. this man is actually treating these Africans, this Chinese guy. I can't verify where this came from. This is abuse. This is slavery. I don't know what's going on here, but all I know is nobody should be getting whipped up like that. So somebody says that this was in Africa. I don't know where, but this Chinese boss treated his African employees like slaves. Workers should never be treated like this, regardless of what they did. Source is Sino Research Telegram channel. So I don't know where that comes from. I can't read this and who posted it. But whatever it is, it's disturbing to look at when you see this picture, when you see this video. It's got over 2.5 million views. And I'm just disgusted. I shared it because I wanted to know more information and why the authorities are not getting involved. And especially, oh, man. So whoever this piece of shit is, very disturbing. Yeah, they needed to get knocked. Somebody needed to get knocked out. He needed to get knocked out. And the people recording it, that said they recorded it, not intervening, they need to get their chin checked too. I mean, why? And I don't know why they're standing up. The key people are sitting down, letting them just beat on you. I couldn't do that as a man. What's going on? I need somebody to verify where it came from. If it's coming from Africa, like I think it is, because they're talking about, and I have seen articles about the Chinese in Africa where they've set up shop and businesses and actively discriminating against Africans in their own country. These are immigrants that are coming into shades of South Africa. Remember, I mean, they've always had a history, anti-African history going on in China. Remember with COVID, they didn't allow blacks to go into the McDonald's. People were complaining about that. Yeah, man, I hope whoever it is, they get their ass beat. Disgusting. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. Yeah, I'm sick of this too. You all, please, if you can, this channel's not monetized. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can drop something in the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. We're going to monitor that story. I'm going to follow back up with it. Also, hit that notification bell. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. And also, purchase the book, if you can, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby. That's on Amazon. Yeah, of course. Of course they are. No leadership, corruption. All right. Y'all be safe and be blessed. I'm out. Danielle, shout out to you. We had 9 people in here. Yeah. Get well soon, Sean. All right, y'all. I'm off to do some work, some legal stuff I'm going to be doing. And I don't know when we're going to have another comedy show, but I'll keep everybody in mind so we can have another one. All right. All right. Y'all be safe. Be one and be blessed. I'll holla. Peace.